Hi everyone, Rodel here again. In this video, I would like to show you how to install and use yuniql on Ubuntu Linux distribution. So yuniql is a database DevOps tool that is cross-platform. And yeah, let's try to use it on Ubuntu. So our first step is, of course, now I'm using my Ubuntu installation here, which is under Windows Subsystem Linux. And our first step is actually let's go and download the installer. So now I'm going to say sudo curl and download the latest tarball distribution of Unicode. And while we wait, so now it has been downloaded. Our next step is actually to extract that tarball into the bin directory. Please bear with me here. I'm not an expert in Linux, but I somehow managed to see how it could possibly work in Ubuntu. And so now let's go to bin because we have the distribution available there. And now let's say I would like to make this Unicode as kind of like an application or an executable. That's a Windows term. Now that it has been marked, so let's try to see if we have access to the verbs. Okay, so it means that it is ready for use globally. Then our next step is say, because in this demo, and if you've seen in other demo, we are using PostgreSQL as an example, but you could very well use other platforms. Each of the repository, our repository here, our Unicode Git repository comes with a lot of examples. One of them is actually a PostgreSQL sample. So let's go to the folder. So now we have here a basic PostgreSQL sample, and you could very well check what's inside there. Of course, this comes with all of this because I have some previous runs while I'm preparing for this video. But the most important here are the version folders here and or the directories. So I think we're all set. So this time we say, I would like to run the migration, target our PostgreSQL hosted remotely on elephantSQL.com, and target a PostgreSQL. So in this case, when we run our migrations on Linux, we have to pass everything as a CLI parameter. I have yet to figure out how to make it work with export variables or environment variables. So now we have the database has been deployed, and but like like we do in other videos, let's check out what has been applied. This time you can see that 3 versions has been applied to that database. It took this much execution time, and who has managed or who has executed that change and when. Um, then our next step is actually, because maybe perhaps you have tested something and you have some transaction tables already populated. It's a dirty database already in the aspect of test and dev test scenario. So let's try to clean up because this time I'm going to say yuniql erase, force it, uh, up, erase the objects in this database on this location, and it's a PostgreSQL again as the platform. So what's of course what's going here is going to pick up the scripts that we have prepared to be a cleanup script that is stored inside the erase directory, and then execute all of them. And of course, you could make all kinds of sophisticated erase or cleanup script. Now that the database has been cleaned up, we could very well start fresh and re-execute our migration from the beginning, from version 0, and you could very well again test what has been applied there. So if you have been creating new versions v0.03, then we should be able to reapply that in a fresh scenario and rerun your test. Now that we have applied that, let's try to erase it again because I'm be moving to the next video and I would like to use the same database for that. So now the database has been cleaned, and but maybe because I forgot to actually show you that. So let's try to run it again. And this time, let's check out the database itself. So I'm going to Elephant SQL here. I'm going to log in using my account. And it's a pretty amazing facility that equips us in testing. So I have a very, very small PostgreSQL database there. Then let's browse it. We've got the tables loaded. let's see, this is the schema version tracking table. So if you're familiar with flyway, so this is what they call the flyway schema history table. So yeah, so we got all the information there. The table, we would expect that the tables has been seeded as well, and I think it was seeded using SQL scripts, but you could very well seed the database using CSV folders. So yes, and as I was saying, because I need that database for my other video, so I'm going to clean it up again. In the future, I'm looking forward for a pattern that is more like, okay, apply the migration, list what has been applied, erase the database because I want to reuse the database, or you don't have facility to drop it, or the other facility is a destroy. So it's yuniql apply, list, erase, or destroy, where the database is completely dropped for the dev or non-production scenario. So I hope that gives you an idea. I will be writing the instructions how this is done, and watch out for more videos, and check us out our repository. You will see all the platforms that are currently being supported there. And yeah, appreciate if you could give a star or file issues and field reports, or yeah, or feature request. Yes, stay tuned for the next video.